Let me tell you a story about walls. Big, huge, towering walls. And this story comes from the book of Joshua chapter 6. There was a man called Joshua, and he was just appointed as leader over the nation of Israel right after his predecessor Moses had passed away. And oh boy, that is some big shoes to fill, because Moses was a respected leader among the people. And so Joshua's first task was to capture the city of Jericho. So he sent out some spies to scout out the city, and he realized that Jericho was protected by big, huge, towering walls. And whenever Jericho came under attack, all they had to do was stay within their city, and eventually their enemies would give up. So for Joshua, it was an impossible task, one that would take many months of planning and figuring out how to break down these walls. But then God showed up, and he said to Joshua in verse 2, hey, all you need to do is gather your people and walk around the city once a day for 6 days, and on the 7th day walk around the city 7 times, and at the end of it give a big shout of praise. And I'm sure at this point in the story you're wondering, how does this even make sense? Because recently I've been playing this game called Age of Empires 2, and it's a game where it involves building your city, building some armies, and then going to beat your enemies. So if I was Joshua, I would tell God, hey God, sure, wouldn't it be better to build some, catapults to break down the walls, or even better yet, find a city that has no walls? But no, God still told them to walk around the city and give a big shout of praise. And so they obediently went. Day after day, they would wake up, walk around the city without saying a word to one another, with their priests blowing the trumpets and carrying the Ark of the Covenant. I'm sure at this time, the people of Jericho were already wondering, these people crazy, what are they doing? Trying to walk around the city. What's there to accomplish? Then on the 7th day, the people woke up early. They went to the city and walked around it again, but this time for 7 times. And on the last round, when the priest was blowing the trumpet, Joshua turned to the people in verse 16 and said, shout, for the Lord has given you the city. And then all the people shouted, and then suddenly all the walls came crashing down. And on that day, God gave them a miraculous victory over the city. I'm sure in your life right now, you're also facing many walls, big, huge, towering walls. And it could be in your career, your relationships, your marriage, your business, and even your health. And I'm sure you're trying to do anything that you can to overcome these walls. Climb over it, smash against it, dig a hole and go underneath, or better yet, avoid the walls completely. But what if I told you there was another way? One where it involves bringing God into your life to bring down these walls for you. What? Are you saying that we don't have to do anything, is it? And then what, the walls will just magically fall down, is it? No. But what did Joshua and the people did? They still went out. They walked around the city. And it's tiring to walk around the city, I can tell you that. But yet they went. Even though it logically doesn't make sense, they obediently went. And by the end of it, their focus was no longer on the walls or how big they were, but their focus is on God and how He is so big to be able to bring down even the most impossible walls in your life. So I ask you again, what if there's another way, where it involves coming to know Him, who is able, faithful and powerful to bring down even the most impossible walls in your life? And yes, it doesn't make sense, but what if you can encounter this story in your life for real? So if you want to know more, just drop us a private message and we'll be more than happy to connect with you today.